Good morning. I'm Reverend Greg Dorst. So glad you're here. What a beautiful day outside and what a beautiful day inside as well. We're so thankful to have time together today. In fact, we're so thankful that we're going to go into the silence together for a moment as I ask you to join me in consciousness. I recognize that the presence of God is right here, right now, in this very space. This presence is operating in, around, and through each of us as us. It's operating right here in this community space as the Unity of Pasadena congregation, its operation, and its core beliefs. We're so fortunate to be here together to share this time. We're so fortunate to have volunteers and musicians and board members, trustees, and also our prayer chaplains to bring this magnificent day together. And as we listen to the music that stirs our soul and the messages that bring us hope, we also recognize that meditation, sitting in the silence, that still moment, brings us closer to the divine. And so, as we align with the one, together, unified, we recognize that this is good and very good. We release this into the law of mind, knowing that it's already done. Please join me by saying, and so it is, amen. So we love a little holy, holy, holy. What do you think? You like a little holy, holy, holy? Come on, let's do it.
Please join in. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. You are holy. Spirit divine, you are holy. Come to me. You are holy. Feeling love, healing me. You are holy. Open my heart. You are holy. Allow me to see beauty and love that lives in me. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am whole. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am whole.
Well, thank you so much. Man, you convinced me. So welcome once again. You know, if you've never been here before, welcome. If you're on live stream, we welcome you as well. You should probably get to know our sound team down here as well, our streaming and sound team, Susan, and Tim. And we got Sandy and Barbara in the back, and they're working the PowerPoints. And we're just so grateful for them. We oftentimes explain a little bit about what it is that we do, but you've been here now for about 5-10 minutes, and you sort of know. You know, we touch your souls, what we do. I mean, that's pretty cool, because I was sitting there and my soul was touched, and I want to thank you guys for bringing that, because you bring that beautiful soul connection. I felt a connection and alignment with Source, with this creative energy, with this power greater than ourselves that we come here to align with. That's what we do. So we do a few things. First thing we do is we go into our unity blessing, and I'd like you to join me in this. It makes it more powerful when we all get to join in. So would you please join me? We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And we also have a statement of faith I'd like you to join me with. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God the good, omnipotence, and I am one with that presence and power. So here's what I know. I know that with the musicians we have today, you better fasten your seatbelt. Do you have seatbelts? And the reason I say that is because you will be moved, see? And when we move, we kind of like to have a seatbelt so we don't fall out, right? So you will be moved today, and I'm so glad to be here with you on that journey. So what do you say we do it? Come on up. Let's get this show on the road.
Good morning, everyone. And let me take this off so you can hear me a little better. Are we good with sound check? Thank you. Okay. We are so happy and excited to be here because ours is a vibrant, thriving community, and we are thankful. We have a vision statement that aligns with that of Unity Worldwide Ministry. Would you please say it with me? Envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission, which supports our vision, is transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truths of divine wisdom, compassion, and love using practical spiritual principles. And of course, our core values that drive us as a spiritual family: creating community, living love, teaching truth, serving spirit. Beautiful, thank you. These statements are also in the front of the monthly bulletin, and they represent our intentions as a ministry. The bulletin has all the events scheduled for each month, and they're also on our website. Our Wings of Song hymnals will again be out on the tables today. Now, this is your last chance to peruse and to comment. Today, the board is providing hospitality. Yes. And if you saw the dessert table, okay. Charmaine will be coming around again with the sign-up sheet for next Sunday, which is our Gratitude Sunday Potluck. We've added an option. I know some of you might be thinking, I don't know what to bring. Well, you know what? If you would prefer, you can donate $10 rather than bring something, and we'll take care of that for you. Tomorrow is again the third Monday of the month and time for our Community Connections Zoom meeting. The call information is on our website, and everyone is invited. Reverend Dorst's introduction to the Metaphysical Bible study has been rescheduled to the first Sunday in December. That would be December 5th. Starting next week, there will be a sign-up sheet and additional details. And I think he might give us a little preview today, huh? Okay. If you're in the area or passing nearby on your way home from work on Thursdays at 5:30, please feel free to stop in and enjoy a centering prayer experience led by one of our prayer chaplains, Andrea Sheridan. Always lovely. Speaking of prayer chaplains, we have a wonderful team here at Unity of Pasadena. They hold the highest good for each of us in prayer. Pray for specific requests received in the prayer box and in the foyer, or if they're dropped in the giving basket on Sunday, or phoned in, or requested online. My goodness, so many ways to do this. All requests are forwarded to Silent Unity Village, where they are held in prayer for an additional 30 days. Michelle Gillette is our chaplain of the day and will be leading our meditation today. And in preparation, we have Andrea Sheridan, who will share today's daily word.
Prosperity. Prosperity fills my life. Current flowing through my home's wiring provides light. But first, I must flip the switch to turn it on. Divine substance, the building block of creation, is the source from which my prosperity grows. But first, I must claim it in consciousness to live a prosperous life. The divine idea of prosperity is unlimited, more than sufficient to meet every need. I know true prosperity when I live from this truth. Giving freely and generously keeps prosperity at the forefront of my consciousness. The more I give, the more of myself I place into circulation. The more I will experience true prosperity as my life. As I give of myself, I increase the flow of prosperity in my life and in the world. And from Mark 4:24, and he said to them, pay attention to what you hear. The measure you give will be the measure you get, and the still more will be given to you.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step of faith is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, there may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day.
And now I invite you to join with me. And before we say the Lord's Prayer, let's think about the beautiful words of that song. I surrender. I am free. What an amazing thing to be able to say. I release, and I am free. And as we say the Lord's Prayer, I invite you just to sink into it deeply and really think about the words. Imagine that you're sitting next to a stream and you open up a book, and here's this beautiful prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. And I say, yes, dear God, I am willing to release. What is it that we have in our lives that stop us from that? What is something that we play in our head over and over and over that is a stone in the road? What is it that stops us from being our true, magnificent, wonderful, loving self? I release. I am willing to release. Whatever I thought about and why I felt I needed to hold on, I'm going to step back and I'm going to say, hey, I release it all. I've always had trouble filing things and throwing things away that have to do with paper and songs and stories and plays. I have thousands of them. And during the pandemic, I decided, hey, I'm going to go through my music office and I'm going to catalog everything. Okay, now that was 2 years ago. I still have quite a few sitting on the desk. I do have a pile on the floor. I know what they are. And I have a pile over there. Oh, those are the ones I was in. Those are the ones I've done. I have enough file cabinets now and everything, bookshelves, that I know where everything goes. But if I don't put the things in and put them where I've decided they go, because it feels so zen to go, ooh, that goes right there. That feels good. Then I'm still holding myself back from all the other things I could be doing. And yes, a labeler is a wonderful thing. I never thought I would use one. But sometimes after I use them and I have really organized a whole wall of that room, I'll sneak in there at night and I'll turn on the light and I'll go, wow, look at what I did. Whoa, I feel so good. I am so zen. And then I go back to bed. And maybe I have to go back twice. And then I come back and I go, I'm so proud of myself because I actually was willing to release. I was actually willing to say, yes, I have more to give. And I invite you as we go into our meditation to think about what more do you have to give? What do you want to release? And even though you're hanging on to it really tight, wow, does it feel good to let it go and open up that path to more prosperity and more success and more love and peace and light. And now we'll just sit for 2 minutes and enjoy our oneness with God. We will hear the answer. And I feel my body moving. I hear the beat. I hear the beat of letting go and walking that path, and I am happy. Yes. Thank you, God, for your blessings. Thank you, God, for my faith. And thank you, God, for holding me, surrounding me, and lifting me up in my quest and my determination to let go. And so it is. Amen.
Every morning the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. Every day I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm willing to trust in the God of all of us. Today I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace, another day to be. And I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Things that I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm willing to trust in the God of all of us. By grace, I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the lesson that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today's the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the sadness that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Yes, every day I walk away. Oh, yeah. Today is the day I walk away. Yes, I do.
There you go. Hey, I guess that means you're not supposed to walk away yet. See? You got more to do. We all have more to do, don't we? We all have more to do. It's just a question of what it is we think we need to do. And, most of what we do in this space is we talk about ways to fashion our thinking so that we can have a life beyond our wildest dreams. Really, we're looking for that life without discord. We're looking for not only a way to see life, but a way to let things go that cloud our vision of what life can be. And we do that. We're really good at that. We can do things that and think things that make our lives pretty much of a rough ride. We can bring about fear. We can do that all on our own. We can see things in a way that creates struggles. We can shift our thinking to turn them into challenges. Do you remember that last week? Remember that talk last week? Yeah. Yeah, see, we're doing release. We're doing release as our power. That's the power that we're studying this month. Unity has 12 powers, and Unity has decided that each of the powers this year will be assigned a month. And this month is release. There's a lot of ways you can use this principle of release. So last week I talked about not how you release physically, because we're going to get to that stuff later on down the road, but how you can release certain ways of thinking that cause trouble in our lives. So we went through this whole analysis of how we look at things that are struggles and we feel like we are trapped, that there's no way out. The struggle has consumed us. And the release of the struggle comes in the different way of thinking that we found through naming it a challenge as opposed to a struggle. Do you remember that last week? We called it a challenge. And a challenge is something that you're really excited about. You can sort of quiver with anticipation because you want to see what unfolds. But a struggle, man, that's a tough place to be. So we talked about that. Release that idea that life is a struggle and create for you a brand new way of seeing it, which is a challenge. If you haven't heard that yet, you can go back online, you guys, and take a look at that. Or we also have CDs that you can buy of last week's talk. And that's kind of a new thing. We really enjoy having that option for you guys. In fact, we're making a new CD right now as I speak. And you're going to be able to purchase those if you like. You can take them home with you. You can listen to them in the car if you still have CD players. Life changes, right? Some car companies are releasing the idea of CD players, But, not me, man. I still got that cassette player, I can't say I still have the 8-track. Some of you remember the 8-track. Yeah, what a life, man. An 8-track tape player. It was sure better than the radio. Oh, man, it was sure better than the radio. So that aspect of release was last week. This aspect of release and relief are really the same thing, aren't they? I mean, they really are. So this aspect of release has to do with releasing victimhood and finding a new way to utilize your thought energy and become a creator. Now, this is pretty exciting stuff because this is going to give me an opportunity to talk about some things that you might not have been relating the release of victimhood and becoming a creator. You might not have been relating those ideas to the things I'm going to talk about. Because I'm going to take a look at a couple of books that are pretty cool. You've heard of the Bible, of course. Yeah, pretty cool book. And, you know, we're going to have a class on a metaphysical understanding of the Bible, an introduction to the metaphysical Bible, and that was supposed to be today. But we decided, after getting several requests from people who live back east and want to get plane tickets, you know, to come out for this. That's an interesting thing, an interesting way of saying, you know, we want everybody to be here, and so we gave it a little bit more time, because we really didn't, we didn't think that it would be a problem, but there are people out there that want to come to this that wouldn't ordinarily be able to make it if we didn't give them more time, so we decided to do that. So December 5th is the day. We're going to have, after service, we're going to have the introduction to the Metaphysical Bible, and we'll talk about some of the things that are really interesting about New Thought tradition. You know, we're in here talking about New Thought, and you know, New Thought's been around about 150 years, which anything that's been around 150 years you wouldn't think of as new. But you know, there's a lot of entrenched old thinking out there. And you know, that drove people to believe that there could be a new way of looking at life, there could be a new way of talking about it, there could be a new way of looking at ancient, fundamental, beautiful, religious and philosophical texts and applying them to life today. And there are magnificent ways to do that. You know, we just have to take a look at these texts, these beautiful writings, these prayers. Michelle did the Lord's Prayer. We're going to talk about that on the 5th. We're going to talk about that on December 5th and utilize a metaphysical interpretation of that Lord's Prayer and bring it into today, you see? Bring it into today, because all people could do long ago was name something in the way that they knew how to name it back then, whatever it was. They had ways of talking about it. That's all they could do, was give you the way of the day. And so sometimes it sounds old. Sometimes it sounds like it doesn't fit your life. Sometimes you reject it because, you know what? That's not what I'm looking for. You know, I live in today's world. I drive around in cars. I listen to 8-track tape players. You know, I mean, my life is moving forward, baby. Yeah, so, you know, today I'm going to talk about how this change from victim to creator is actually kind of New Testament stuff. And I'm going to talk about how this change from victim to creator is what the Four Agreements were all about. You guys know the book, The Four Agreements? Don Miguel Ruiz? Yeah, The Four Agreements. Great book. I'll bet you didn't know it was about going from victim to creator in your life. I bet you didn't know that. Well, maybe you did. Well, very good. All right. Because I didn't know it till I came up with it. And I won't even tell you where that happened. Yeah, I will. You know, I do my best thinking in the shower nowadays, you know. I mean, it's a funny thing how that happens. But I think it's because you get in that space where you're not really thinking about anything in particular and your mind opens up. And so kind of subconscious mind, what you've been holding deep within you, that well of intellectual resource and wisdom is allowed to come up. You know, and that happens when you find yourself in that space where you're doing something that's really rote. You know, you do it all the time. You do it all the time, and so you don't have to worry about thinking about every aspect of it. And your mind goes off in this direction or that direction. And all of a sudden, you got these amazing ideas. I know you've had that. I know you've had that happen. I have it happen all the time. Yep. So, yeah, we're going to talk about victim to creator. And I'm going to use some terms that I really enjoy. Because this movement from victim to creator is really about self-leadership. Have you ever heard that term before, self-leadership? I mean, wouldn't it be great if you could, at all times, operate with self-leadership, recognizing and knowing that you created your life, that you're not a victim, that you weren't abused and used and pushed around and made to act like you were a player on a dodgeball court, where people are throwing balls at you all the time, and you got nothing to do but move out of the way, and you're looking for the next thing being thrown at you, rather than creating the life that you want, you're too busy dodging bullets. I mean, that's where you are when you're in that mindset where creation is hard, where self-leadership doesn't look like the way to go. It's a tough place to be, and we're going to move into that space and release that victimhood. We don't have to be there. And we can do some things. We can take some steps. We can look at life in a different way so that we're actually really fully into the creation of what it is that we call our lives. So here's some things that I find to be troublesome in this whole idea. Let me start first with, you have free will. Do you agree with that? Do you think you have free will? I mean, you can come here, you can go there, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You got some free will, right? And so what it is that you're doing is creating certain outcomes. What it is that you're doing is the great game of cause and effect. You're creating something. You are creating a cause, and you're going to have to live with the effect. But a lot of people, they don't believe that. They'll say, absolutely, I believe that I have free will, but you know what? I don't know why God did that to me. I sit back and I go, I think I need to take a seat. We are talking about these things that seem to be rational, I guess, because a lot of people do it, but they don't fit together, especially in the same sentence. I mean, if you have free will, you have the ability to set the ball in motion. When you set that ball in motion, there's going to be a certain result. And you know what? If you don't take responsibility for that result, you can never change it if you don't like it. Do you see how hard that is? If you're not the one that created this circumstance, if you are just dodging bullets or dodging dodgeballs all the time, you're not the one who's in charge. There's no self-leadership. You can't change that because you're a victim. Oh, man. Do you know how many centuries the Israelites, the tribes of Israel, stepped into that belief system that they absolutely had no way to control anything that was going on around them? They were victims, praying for a Messiah, praying for somebody to take you out of something that's been forced upon you, a way of living, a way of life that absolutely is untenable. The Messiah is your only way out. Now, that's an interesting consciousness, isn't it? I mean, for me, I take a look at that and I go, maybe there's a way we can do these things. The reason why I can say maybe there's a way we can do these things, like get out of this whole idea that your life is being stolen from you in some way rather than created by you in another. The reason why I can see that today is because this man named Jesus came. And when he came, he was all about talking about that. You see, he was a Jew as well. And people thought that he was the Messiah, and he was going to come and free them from their slavery, from the things that were happening to them at the hands of the Romans. He's going to do this thing for us. He's the one. Just like, as if he were an Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock, I mean, this would have been, now those are messiahs, man. Those are messiahs, yeah. But no, man, Jesus, he's a peaceful man. What the heck is wrong here? How can a peaceful man help us? How can a peaceful man free us? What did he do? He tried to change the way people were thinking. He tried to get them to release victimhood and step into their own creative ability. Self-leadership. What can you do? Oh, I can love today. Oh, man. I can love today. And if I do that today, my life is going to change completely, isn't it? I mean, it will change dramatically if I love you instead of hurt you. If I help you instead of hinder you. If I have compassion for you instead of sneer at you and say, you're not my tribe. You know, I'm not going to help you. We don't do that. You're unclean. I'm going to heal you rather than watch you suffer. Ooh, man. So here's the thing about living in victimhood. If you are in victimhood, if you believe that things are happening to you all the time, there's no way to change this, you are out of the creation business. Yeah, put a stop to your creative ability right there. You are not in the creation industry. And the reason for that is that you do not have control over your life if that's your mindset. And if you don't have control over your life, all self-leadership is gone. All ability to set the things in motion that will create the things that you want, gone. Not there. I mean, if you don't release that victim mentality, you will, in effect, always live within it and never be able to create what you want. Now, on the fourth Sunday, I was going to do a talk called The Space for What You Want, which is a great talk because what that's about is releasing the things you're settling for, you know, to make space for the things that you want. Yeah, but we're going to go into a different way of doing talks beginning in the last week after Thanksgiving of November. We're going to talk about some of the things that go on with Advent. Because, you know, we're looking for this new consciousness that's coming in. We're going to align ourselves with that. We're going to talk about hope and faith and all of that. But we're still going to talk a little bit about this idea of releasing and making space for what you want. Releasing the thing that you're settling for rather than, you know, allowing space to be present for what you want. Isn't that cool? I mean, there's so much that we do to limit the possibilities of our lives, to limit the things that we will allow into our lives, to limit our good. We do that ourselves. This place is filled with opportunities. So the idea that I'm presenting you with today is this, that life doesn't happen to you. Life happens through you. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens through you. There is a seed inside of you that is filled with the prospect of infinite creative ability. There is this seed within you that has infinite possibility. And if you're a victim, you won't water that. It's only when you release that victimhood and you recognize that life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you, that you'll water that seed for what you want. Life happens through you. Have you ever heard that before? Yeah? Well, I want you to really feel that aspect of it. See, because that's all about self-leadership. Life happens through me. You see, if I pray for potatoes, I better doggone pick up some garden tools. You know, really. You know, this isn't a magic process where we click our heels and all of a sudden, you know, an entire garden of potatoes grow. No, if you want potatoes, you better pick up some doggone garden tools. And it's that way with everything. Everything. You're the creator. You are the creator. So let me tell you some of the things that you know, creators do. This is what creators do. I love being a creator. So creators accept personal responsibility, seeing themselves as the primary cause of their outcomes and experiences. So last week I talked about a quarter turn of the screw. Let me tell you what victims do. Victims believe that what happens to them is determined primarily by external forces, okay? It is only a quarter turn of the screw to take that things are happening to me to this one. Things are happening through me. where I accept personal responsibility, seeing myself as the primary cause of the outcome and experiences. Here's what else creative mindsets do. They discover self-motivation. You find purpose in your life by discovering meaningful goals and dreams. You actually take the action to get what it is that you want because you recognize and know that you're the creator. And the creator must take action. If you ever read the book of James, you'd recognize that all he was really talking about was putting some garden tools in the hands of the faithful. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. All right. Well, show me some faith, baby. Pick up those garden tools. That was James. You know, that's Jesus' brother, right? People weren't too happy with that. You mean I got to work? You mean I got to do something? Because I thought all I had to do was pray and things would just show up, you know? I mean, isn't that the way we've always been taught? You know, just pray and things will show up. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how we got there, but that doesn't work. And you know that through your long experience. No, you got to pray and move your feet. You've got to set a path. You have to set a goal. You have to move toward it. You have to do things that, by the way, are fun because they're challenges. You have to do things that will move your life into that space where you can have what it is that you want. So what else do creators do? All right. Creators master self-management. Well, we kind of knew that. I mean, you know, they're not going to get caught up in all of the other thoughts that keep them from moving in the right direction so that they can actually take advantage of their dreams and goals. So, creators gain self-awareness consciously by doing these things. Not only do they take action, but they start to gain self-awareness, meaning they start to recognize that they are, in fact, engaged in self-leadership, which is the first seed planted for a faith in you that you can do this thing called life. You were meant to do it. You were born to do it. You were placed on this earth to give God a grand old time, not just to play dodgeball and dodge bullets. So the thing is, this victim to creator aspect has to do with a mindset that also has its eye on integrity. And to me, that's what the Four Agreements is all about. If you've read the Four Agreements, it's really about being in integrity. You know, it's about having this system of operating, an operating system, if you're into IT stuff, you know, the system of operating that has its genesis in truth. So there are four agreements, and you probably can't name them. Can you name them? Can you name the four agreements? How about just a nod of your head? Yeah, Barbara can name them in the back, yeah. So I can name them too. But I'll tell you why in just a second here. The first one, of course, is be impeccable with your word. You know that. Be impeccable with your word. So if you're in victim consciousness, you know, you don't recognize that your word is creative. See, your life is coming at you rather than moving through you. Now, we know that our words and our thoughts, and coupled with feelings and emotions, is actually creative. It drives you toward those things that you will ultimately receive. In fact, you actually become kind of magnetic around what it is, you know, that your consciousness brings to the world. You start to attract things into your life. There's a law of attraction that got very, very popular. I'm not so sure I like to use those terms, but it exists. What happens is like is attracted to like. And if you are a consciousness of good, then you're going to attract good into your life. That's just the way it works. So if you're impeccable with your word, or you've made that decision to be impeccable with your word, then what you're doing is recognizing that you are creating with that word. And the more impeccable you are with that word, the greater force your creativity will have. And you're going to get what you want. So, be impeccable with your word. That's the first one. Now, don't take things personally. You've heard that. Don't take things personally. All right, so here's the deal behind that. If you take things personally, you immediately become a victim. There's no doubt about it. If somebody says something to you, they're your torturer, your tormentor. If somebody says things about you, they're out in the community saying these negative things about you. I mean, you're going to take this personally and become the victim. The victim to them. If it wasn't for them, things would be okay. Don't take things personally. You know, what you think about me is none of my business. Do you know that? And what an interesting idea, right? If you could absolutely engender that, if you could bring that into your being, you know, what you think of me is none of my business. I'm not even going to ask. In fact, I'm not even thinking that you're thinking until you tell me that you are. That's a safer space to be in, you know? So, you know, you take things personally and you're immediately the victim. Don't take things personally. Never make assumptions. That's the third agreement. Never make assumptions. Whoa, assumptions can bring you into that space where you're not going to get what you want because it wasn't what you thought it was to begin with. I mean, it puts you in that place where you're absolutely swimming in victimhood. You know, assuming that you're doing something to me and it's on purpose. Oh, you know what? You didn't say hello to me this morning. And I know why. I parked next to your car last time, maybe didn't leave enough space, you know, and now you're mad. I get that. I'll stay away. Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. There's a funny bit that we see on TV once in a while because we like this particular show, but you know, she's the mother of a daughter and they have this really interesting relationship. And she talks about having had these conversations in her head with her daughter when her daughter wasn't present, you know. And she says, I was having this conversation with you all the way over here in my car, and I will never forgive you for the things you said. Never. It's hilarious. It's just funny. Yeah. Never make assumptions, you know. Otherwise, you're going to be in that victim space. Yeah. And then there's do your best. You know, and this is really the one that creates the most victimhood because this is where you hate yourself, where you victimize yourself because you cannot have this grand, magnificent image of yourself if you don't do your best. If you don't step into it and do the best you possibly can, you lose faith in yourself around whether or not you ever can or you ever will. You know, it's something I talked about, I think a couple of months ago. We were talking about a different power, and I said, you know, this aspect that we have inside of us is one that we can gain faith around. Once you start operating in a certain way, and you start getting the results that you want, you continue to operate in that way, and it gets easier and easier and easier and easier until that's who you are. You see, if you do not do the things you're supposed to do and you're not where you're supposed to be, you're not going to have a self-image that's going to create the kinds of things that you absolutely want in your life. You just don't have the faith in yourself. You've lost faith in you. So that one is really, really dangerous. You turn yourself into a victim. Do your best. Always do your best. So even though this book wasn't on its face about victimhood and creativity, we can take a look at it with that in mind and metaphysically describe how it is. Do you see? What we just did was take a metaphysical interpretation of the four agreements and apply it to exactly what it is we were talking about in this moment. It wasn't written for that purpose, but that's the message. And you can't miss it once we start talking about it. It's there. You see, that's the metaphysical interpretation we're going to bring to the Bible. That's the metaphysical interpretation we can bring to your day. I can hear anybody speak and say, oh my gosh, can I relate to that? That wasn't my story, but boy, I can relate to that. I know how you're feeling. I've been through that before, you know. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to make those mistakes. I didn't have to engage in those activities, but oh, baby, do I feel it. That's what bringing a metaphysical interpretation to anything is all about. See, we feel it in the moment because we can have that experience. It relates to who we are today. So the 4 agreements, very cool, you know? And so I have found a way for me to remember the 4 agreements. Do you know what that way is? I put it to song, don't I? I put it to song. Yeah, and you know, I picked a song that I might change, but I'll tell you what it is. It's Frere Jacques. You ever heard that song? Frere Jacques, dormez-vous. So, be impeccable with your word. Never take things personally, never make assumptions. Do your best. See? And now, all I have to do is go, oh yeah, Frere Jacques, you know, be impeccable with your word, never make assumptions, don't take things personally, do your best. You sing that a few times and you'll never, ever forget it. All right, that's going to be a hit, isn't it? That's going to be a hit. Yeah, let's call it victim to creator. Wow, how metaphysical. So, yeah, release the victimhood. Become the creator you always wanted to be. How about a little self-leadership, huh? Yeah, that sounds cool to me. You know, life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. Boy, there's a lot of sayings there you need to write down. You know, because if you're going to have your tattoo artist put it on your arm or your shoulder or whatever, you better get this right. So this is the way I finish. I finish by saying, you know, it's been my pleasure to talk about these things that matter. It's been my pleasure to see the God in you and allow you to see the God in me. Because I know you can feel it. I know you can because it's in you. And it's exactly as I indicated. This is the reason for the word namaste. So we finish with namaste. I love you. Where's our usher? Grab the basket. Please take out your checks. Do your best. Come on up. Our usher today is Charmaine. Thank you, Charmaine, for doing this. And you're going to show people how Ushing 101 works, aren't you? Here, this is the way this goes. Oh, wait, we have to say this first. We say this first and it multiplies and overflows when we do it. So please say, God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful. Thank you so much. More music? Can't wait.
Together we take a stand for love. Together we make a change for good. Together we break the chains of sorrow. Together we live the truth. Yes, we Together we raise our voice for peace. Yes. Together we sing and jump for joy. Together we move, yeah, we groove, we dance. Together we live the truth. In every part of me, there's a part of you. Oh yeah, all right. And when I'm loving me, I am loving you. Oh yeah, all right. Together we boldly share our dreams. Together we share a life of freedom. Together we live the truth. Let me hear you answer me this time. In every part of me, there's a part of you. Oh yeah. All right. And when I'm loving me, I am loving you. Oh yeah. All right. Together we live the truth, and the future's bright. Oh oh ee, 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 oh ee, oh.
Okay, so here's what we do. We promise to do our best with the tithes and treasures, which means that we promise to bring this to the greater community, not just here, but the consciousness to the greater community here in Pasadena and beyond. And so what we do is we just thank you for allowing God to work through you in this way, for practicing the law of circulation, that great game of giving and receiving. We say, thank you, God. Thank you. And so it is, amen. Oh, look at this. I got things to do. Those potatoes don't grow themselves. So would you please join me in the prayer for protection? The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well. Woo! So we're going to sing the peace song, and if you don't know the words, they're up on the screen. And because there's several different versions, you know. I mean, when you get to the Creator, the family, whatever it is, they're different versions. So this is the version we're going to sing today. And will you help us with that, of course? Well, we'll help you too. So please. Yeah. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Oh, man. Hey, we have hospitality out there, and from what I've seen, it's a good thing I'm on an all-carbs diet. You know, so join me. Subject too. I love you. I love you too. Let me make sure this is off.